Hello, my name is HoboWolf, and oh my god, that finale. So much happened in this episode, and before I start, I just want to give a spoiler alert, because there will be a lot of spoilers. So we start with the episode in King's Landing, with basically all the main characters in King's Landing preparing for Cersei's and Loras' trial. The music was utilised here so perfectly. I don't think we've seen a sequence like this shot before, and it was truly spectacular to watch. Nonetheless, Loras does his trial and devotes his life to the Seven. Meanwhile, Cersei doesn't even show up for a trial. Because of this, I think we all knew what was about to come, considering all the foreshadowing of wildfire throughout the entire season. Lancel finds a wildfire and then, boom. The sept explodes, and in one small sequence, a big chunk of characters are killed. This leaves no competition for Cersei, and also leads to Tommen committing suicide. I just loved how this was executed, with the calmness of Tommen and the silence as he jumped through the window. I mean, it's a pretty sad moment. It's a little kid. Everything's been taken from him. He lost his wife. Nothing's going good. But hey, I guess Tommen didn't have a very good King's Landing. I'm so funny. Because Ramsay's dead and there's no clear human villain right now, it appears that Cersei will become the main villain for next season. It appears that she may be the main obstacle for Daenerys to face. And in the north, it appears that Peter Baelish may become the antagonist for Jon. I'll talk more about Peter Baelish later, but for now I just want to conclude with Cersei's storyline. So basically, everyone's gone for Cersei. People she loved, people she hated. She's pretty much lost her sanity at this point. She leaves zombified Gregor Clegane to torture Septa Unella. It's cool how we got to see his face, somewhat. His face has been hidden this entire season, and I guess everyone wanted to see what it looked like. I'm looking forward to where he goes next season. Cersei then declares herself as queen, and she wears a new set of black armor-like clothes. It's a key part of Cersei's character that she wears clothes with armor pieces attached, only this time she's wearing dark black clothes. This connotes the dark change of her character from this pretty queen in season 1 to this insane dictator in season 6. Well, in season 6, oh wow. It appears that Jaime does not like Cersei's new queenship, and it could be that in the future seasons, Jaime is the Valonqar who kills Cersei, as she has become the Mad Queen, essentially. In the north, Peter tells Sansa that he wants to be on the Iron Throne, and he tells her that he wants her beside him. He goes for that little smooch, but she denies him. Poor Peter. And in all honesty, I kind of feel bad for Littlefinger. He saves the north, and then he's repaid with complete disrespect from Sansa and the people of the north. Sansa's like, no, I'm not going to give you a smoochy smooch. Probably because she's underage, for him, at least. And people of the north are like, hey, look at this kid, Jon Snow, let's make him our king. When the people of the north declare Jon Snow as their king, you can clearly see the annoyance on his face, which puts Sansa at discomfort. And oh my god, we finally get to see Old Town. I was super excited for this. We finally get a visual representation of the source of the Maesters, and the true power of the Maesters. It was actually really cool. It was like steampunk. It was really interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. There's one thing that I just want to state, and it's that this episode must have spanned over a pretty long time. When we see Sam, the White Ravens are being released, and then when we see Jon, the White Ravens being received. And, I mean, Old Town's at the bottom of Westeros, Winterfell's at the north of Westeros, like the far north. It would take quite a while for a bird to go all that way. This can also be inferred from the badass, Olenna Tyrell, talking of the events of Wildfire in King's Landing. This is when she speaks to the Sand Snakes in Alaria Sand. Also, she didn't really seem too bothered by it, she did seem bothered by it, but she wasn't breaking down over it, so that might mean that she's had time to mourn, so a lot of time might have passed since then. Speaking of the scene, I think everyone cheered for Olenna when she destroyed the Sand Snakes. I think that was the writer's way of apologising for the Sand Snakes last season. And then we go to Dany. Dany this episode, she loses allies such as Dario, since he would be a hindrance in Westeros, because of the fact that he loves her and she has to get married to someone else to cement alliances, I guess. But she also gains a fuck ton of new allies in Westeros. This is partly due to Varys. Now, she has the Greyjoys, Tyrells and Martells at her back, and she could attract many other major and minor houses across Westeros. An example of this could be the Tarlys. The Tarlys once fought for the Targaryens in Robert's Rebellion, and they could fight easily again. Daenerys also has the power of marriage. This is why she cut her ties with Dario. She could marry any lord in Westeros and create an alliance that would benefit her. Judging from the fact that they have had parallel storylines, it could be that she marries the new king of the north, Jon Snow. This could give her a great strategic position for acquiring the crown. This is because she would have the Lannisters sandwiched between every force in the north and every force in the south. Like, think about it, you got the Vale, you got the Reach, Dawn, Iron Islands. There's nowhere for the Westerlands to go. They can't do anything. Also, Targaryen incest stuff might hint towards them getting together, since it's a pretty big deal in Game of Thrones. Speaking of which, it's fucking confirmed. Yes, R plus L equals J was finally confirmed in this episode, and I was so tearful because of the happiness and satisfaction that it brought me. We see Lyanna Stark on her deathbed, with Ned comforting her, until he is given a baby called Jon. She says, "Promise me, Ned," and this is the iconic phrase that we know from the books and the show. We were never really quite sure what she meant by promise me, but now we've been given clearance, which is the fact that she wanted Ned to look after Jon and keep his identity secret, otherwise Robert Baratheon would probably kill him, because he hated Targaryens and he's the rightful son of Rhaegar. Actually, we don't know that, it could be a bastard. To clarify, it's unknown whether Jon is a bastard or not, since we don't know if Lyanna and Rhaegar had a secret marriage or not. Also, this also puts one of my favourite theories to rest. This theory is the theory that Mira is also Lyanna's child. I like this theory because it would have been interesting for Bran to tell Mira about a true family and ties to the Targaryens. Then there's a beautiful cut to adult Jon as baby Jon opens his brooding eyes, while also looking blazed as fuck. And so, we come to my favourite scene of the entire episode. And probably the entire season, maybe the entire show, I don't even know what's going on. We know no king, but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. Or Snow. Or Targaryen. But seriously, I love the scene. The original King in the North scene with Rob is one of my favourite scenes from the entire show. And this scene parallels this, but adds some extra stuff which I like. All of the lords in this scene are different from the original Rob scene. A lot of them can relate to Jon. Like Davos said, they didn't expect to be in their position so quickly and be leaders of great houses. This is because at the Red Wedding, a lot of the older brothers, fathers, they would have died, and so the right to the house would have passed on to them, unexpectedly. So everyone in that room is somewhat linked, at least all the northern houses. And something that I really liked is, I forgot his name, but the guy from the Vale, big fat boy, yeah, that's gonna be his name. I think I actually saw him stand up and raise his sword for Jon with his King of the North stuff. That shows that it's not just the North that believe in Jon, it could also be the Vale, and this could pose a problem for Littlefinger because then his forces believe in Jon more than himself. It also appears that Sansa's happy for Jon, but you can tell that she's quite jealous. But this jealousy is not enough to bear any ill will towards Jon, as the happiness overcomes it. And then we go back to Dany, leaving Essos. Fucking finally. With Tyrion as Hand of the King, and hordes of Dothraki, Unsullied and Ironborn at her back, I'm really interested to see where her plot goes. This is the first time that I've been interested in her plot since the beginning of the show. Also, teleporting Varys. I'm sorry, this just stop, Littlefinger, Varys, Arya, stop teleporting, please. You defy all logic, please stop, no. Anyway, that was my overview for the episode. If people want, I could make an overview for the entire season and make predictions for the next season. I got some possible ideas, which could occur, and I'm sure we'd all want them to occur. This could be the Stark children finally being together, with Arya going north, Bran going south, and then all meeting at Winterfell. That could be a possibility. Also, Arya finding Nymeria, her direwolf, Jaime killing Cersei, Jon marrying Daenerys. The possibilities are really endless. Anyway, I actually really like the season, despite a lot of its downfalls. Episode 8. Anyway, thanks for listening to my boring monotone voice for the amount of time that I could have spent creating a teleporter allowing you to do whatever the fuck you want. Isn't that right, Varys? It's meant to take months to get from King's Landing to frickin' Winterfell, and then you can just teleport wherever you want. Screw you. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I'm not actually pissed, but whatever, shut up.
Bye. I love you.